I want to talk a little bit about lobbyists and draining the swamp, or maybe it's filling the swamp. You might remember this very highly publicized executive order that President Trump issued in January, weakening Obama-era ethics policies, which would allow lobbyists to work at agencies that they had sought to influence. The Trump order did limit what lobbyists would be allowed to do once they enter government. For example, directly handling issues on which they had lobbied. It seems sort of like maybe an on-paper victory of sorts, drain the swamp, blah, blah, blah. But it already appears that the Trump administration is ignoring it. ProPublica found that 3 new Trump hires are working on the same issues for which they lobbied, starting with Shahira Knight, Donald Trump's special assistant for tax and retirement policy. She lobbied the government on tax issues for Fidelity, a financial services giant. The Trump executive order says that former lobbyists cannot work in the, quote, specific issue area in which they lobbied. That phrase isn't defined. She lobbied on tax and retirement issues and is now working as Donald Trump's assistant on tax and retirement issues. You also have Michael Catanzaro and George David Banks, both named to the National Economic Council Director Gary Cohn's senior staff. What was their background? Well, Catanzaro was lobbying on fuel standards and greenhouse gas regulations for the American fuel and petrochemical manufacturers. He is now special assistant to the president for domestic energy and environmental policy. Sounds pretty related to me. Banks recently lobbied on environmental issues for a business group. He is now special assistant to the president for international energy and environment. Yet again, something publicly said, the truth of what's going on at the White House and in all of these departments is the opposite of what was publicly said.
Yeah, it's insane because Donald Trump marketed himself as an outsider and someone who can fix Washington and drain the swamp.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to make people kind of upset with the political system and not really be able to trust another candidate again to break up Washington. But we know that Donald Trump never really gave any proposals as to end Citizens United as we know it.
Oh, of course.
And it just seemed like he wanted to change the system so he could get elected himself.
Even drain the swamp. People ate it up without question, like it was the best thing. Trump admitted that drain the swamp was bogus. He actually a video where he admitted that he just kept saying it because people were reacting positively, but he never even liked the whole thing.
We're going to drain the swamp of corruption in Washington, D.C. Funny how that term caught on, isn't it?
Yeah.
I tell everyone, I hated it.
Right.
So
Didn't like it.
Drain the swamp. I said, oh, that's so hokey. That is so terrible. I said, all right, I'll try it. So like a month ago, I said, drain the swamp. The place went crazy. I said, whoa, what's this? Then I said it again. Then I started saying it like I meant it, right?
Right.
And then I said it, I started loving it.
Right. I'm figuring out that Donald Trump speaks in code, and I'm starting to get I'm starting to decipher the code. When Trump said he was going to run the country like a business, what he meant was he wasn't going to follow any of the rules, including the ones he sets. That actually is something that makes sense to me. Stunning. A lot of people are not aware of that video. He didn't even want to do the whole drain the swamp thing. He's admitting he just did it because people reacted to it.